Hey, what is up? It is your boy, just call me Jay, and I'm here to do an editing video. I don't want to call it a tutorial because this isn't my full steps that I take when I'm retouching a photo for a client, unless it's like batch photos. But today I'll be doing some frequency separation on this photo. So this photo has already been processed in Camera Raw in Photoshop. So just did some highlights, shadows, just tuned it how I'd want it to be, and then I'm going to go in and actually edit it. So I'm going to be using frequency separation. So what I usually do, just Control J, copy that, and I'm going to rasterize it. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to work on some blemishes. Now this is my cousin, we don't have too many blemishes going on, so that's a good thing. And I'm going to be running basic frequency separation to go into it. Now this may seem redundant, but I like to do a basic frequency separation and then take off the blemishes and then do the advanced frequency separation. And all of this is from Prince Meyson's Essentials Retouching pack. So if you don't have that, then you should, because it's a time saver and you could get it from anywhere, Prince Meyson, Flow Shop, whoever you want to get it from. But yeah, so I usually just run that and then I choose my number. Now this is essentially a portrait, like a close-up portrait, so I'm gonna go with like 14. This is the regular one. According to what it is, I would bring it up or down, but too much blur can cause a lot of stuff, and I might actually just bring it down to around 10 for this image. All this will be dependent on your camera, the amount of megapixels it has, a bunch of different things, how you shot it, a lot of different things. But for this image, and since I've been working with my camera for a while, I know that around 10 for a photo like this would be good, especially if I don't want to make it too overly smooth and still want to keep something natural, because again, I'm working with a male, and I want to keep the skin and the texture looking as natural as possible and not overly done, if you get what I'm saying. So now I'm just gonna press S, and I'm working with my Wacom tablet right now, and I'm just gonna go through, and obviously you got a sample, and just go through and just remove some of these things here. So things that bother me. So I might just speed this up, and I want to keep some of the marks before I speed this up, but so I want to keep some of the defining marks, like these little things here, just because they define their characteristics of that person, and I don't want to take them out. So I'm gonna go through and just deal with these. And again, this is not like a super magazine kind of like edit where I would go in and be super careful. I'm not even doing any micro dodge and burn. I will do a global dodge and burn just to pop some of the highlights off. But this is literally just, for a quick turnaround. If I need to get some photos out and it needs to be done quickly, then that's what I'll do. It's all about knowing what you're doing and how well you can edit. Yeah, sorry, I got lost a little bit there, just trying to go through this line. But yeah, this is all dependent on the workload, the client, what is it for, because a lot of things people don't realize is, as a photographer, as a retoucher, there are certain things that you're going to do for certain clients, right? Like this isn't going to be on a magazine or featured anywhere, but you still want to give them quality, but you also want to not take 3 hours, 4 hours doing this edit when it's not going to be seen anywhere else than probably someone's Instagram. Not saying that that's not important, just saying that as retouchers, as photographers, we need to know the worth of our time and know that we should always put out quality. That's the first thing. But you should know how to work, like at McDonald's, they don't take the same amount of time to make a $199 like cheeseburger than when they do to like make something else like a Big Mac or something that, requires more, more effort, more time. Yeah. So just gonna go and take off some more stuff. Again, I'm being actually very picky right now, but it's just taking off little things here and there, just to make sure it works. Just to make sure everything actually works out how you want it, And I actually take out some of that again. And I know some of you computer folks are seeing that I'm activating Windows. I don't feel like it. Honestly, activating Windows is just a few things that I won't do in this life, and activating Windows right now is one of them. Okay, so as you can see, there are just little things here and there that I took out, not anything too major. Again, as I said, this isn't something that's going on in a magazine. So yeah, you can see around here, around there. Took a few things out. Might take out a couple more things over here as well. And although I think that was one of those characteristic elements, but again, just go through and take out little things that may distract you. Okay. Now, one thing to note is if you're only going to do frequency separation, then you should take some time during this process here to really go through and look at all the textures and make sure things are looking good, because you're not going to have micro dodge and burn to help smoothen out the skin more. So okay, this is where we are. I didn't work on the hands. I just wanted this to be about the face right now. And this is where we are. We came from here to here. I'm leaving some of these things here, as you can see right here and here, just for, adding some character to our model. So I'm actually going to merge this group. Rename it BFS. There I can type. And then I'm going to go through and put on an advanced frequency separation. And we're going to use the same number that we did before, 10. And I'm going to work on this layer. So now I'm working on the low layer. Previously on the basic frequency separation, I was working on the high layer. That's where all your textures are, if you know about frequency separation. And now I'm going to be working on the low layer. So what I like to do, just for some assistance, no, that's the wrong thing. Just for some assistance, I'll open a black and white layer. And I'll just bring this down a little bit just to see like where our colors are transitioning from. And then I'm just going to paint with my mixer brush tool using these settings. Again, I got these settings from Meyson. I also saw some from Flowshop. So I just mix and match and test what I want, and just work through having those kind of things changing, because you always want to make sure that whatever works, what you're doing is working with your camera, because a lot of people use settings from other people and they don't understand the camera that that person is using is different from the camera that you're using. So it's picking up different colors, picking up light, picking up different things. So as you can see, I just painted over that little area here, and it just helps with the transition, smoothing out the skin. And again, if you were using micro dodge and burn, you do micro dodge and burn before you do this. So I'm just like really just going through this. If this was, you know, paid work or something like that, I would take more time to go through it. So because I can see like right here has like a little thing here, but in the grand scheme of things, like you're not gonna really see it. So I'll go back into the black and white layer, and I'm just going to go through this image and just, you know, just paint lightly in some areas where I feel are not transitioning too well. So like right there, I think I did make a mistake right here. So I'm just gonna paint that here. And as you can see, I'm painting in the darks and I'm painting in the highlights, and I'm not mixing the two. So I'm not pulling from dark and doing this. See how that like pulled that dark in? Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm painting in the dark, going in the, you know, direction of those highlights and those shadows. And I am really just making sure that the shadows look good, the highlights look good, and in the mid-tones I'm painting in between. So I just paint in between those just for that transition, because that's what you're trying to do. You know, if you've seen makeup, that's exactly what you're trying to do. You're basically applying, like you're mixing those highlights and shadows down so that they look and appear smooth. And again, I would take more time because I would want to fix this up here with like micro dodge and burn and do different things around, like all here. And I'd really want to work through that and change certain things. So far, I'm going to delete this because I don't need it anymore. So far from just the frequency separation, you've seen that we have something very, very different. If I turn it off, you can see all these transitions here and here, and some of them have been worked out. Again, I would go in with micro dodge and burn to fix up some areas like here, which I think probably we can fix with this here. I think we can. Let's see if we can fix this up just a little bit more here. Yeah, fix this up just a little bit more, and yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. So as you can see, we've made a lot of progress. We've made a lot of progress in like what, 15 minutes? I think that's how long I've been recording for. Yeah, around there. So we went from here to here. So from we've come from here, which is the base image, to here. And then one thing I'll do, as I said, I'll always do a global dodge and burn. Again, all these actions come from the PM Prince Meyson Essential Retouching Pack. Essential Retouching Pack, yeah. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And yeah, so let's go in. This is the invert check layer. And what I do is I always turn off the frequency separation layer just to help see where all those highlights and shadows were before. And again, I'm not doing micro dodge and burn, so I don't need to be too far in. I'm just going to change the settings of my brush. Opacity 30, flow 10. That's what I usually use. And this is because this is inverted, all the dark parts will be lighter and all the bright parts will be dark because it's inverted. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through and start with my dodging, making like brighten up certain parts. And again, I'm not going over this too much, just going through, seeing where might be a little I would want to be brighter, and then just go through and paint that, paint in those highlights, making sure that they're looking decent. Go in, you do that, you do that. Now I'm going to burn, and since he has this like cheekbone here that was kind of dark, I'll see if I want to actually brighten it up to get it out of the way. I'm just going through and just adding some detail, some places, like even under the eyes. Sometimes I do that unless like it's like really distracting and I want to brighten up those parts. But for this photo, again, this is a man, not trying to make him look like he's tired, but still trying to give him that rough, edgy fashion look, not trying to make him look crisp or burnt. And these hands, again, we didn't even do much with these hands, but just gonna make them, have a little bit more contrast, make them pop. Just running through, and again, I'm not taking my time on this, but just trying to give you all like an overview of what I would do, and not what I would do, but let's say I wanted to post something online really quickly that I really liked, and I still wanted to look really good, and process it. This is something like I would do. Just run through and edit it really quickly. Probably spend like 20 minutes on it. And I think that should be good. If we turn off our invert check layer right now, you can see like this. I might want to deal with this, but then again, when I turn this back on, you'll see that it just, but yeah, I think I'll deal with it actually. And I'll like just brighten that up just a little bit. I'm gonna bring my brush, make my brush a little bit bigger, and that off. Yes, it is. And just brighten that up just a tad bit. Put up my eyes that I wanted. And let me turn this back on. Yeah, it just gives it just a little bit of subtlety to it, And again, this is something that I would fix through micro dodge and burn, going in and fixing that. Another way, I'm done with the invert check layer. What I would do is I would create a stamp visible and pass one, and I would go in and I would do even skin tones, again from Prince Meyson, even skin tone. And I feel like I want to change up his skin tone just a little bit. What I'll do is I'll just leave it at the regular. I could go in here and change stuff, like get the brighter parts here and do that, and get like this. And yeah, I'll actually just do it, show you. Get something a little darker right there. Go in, and I usually just put all the opacity all the way up, and the flow and everything on the brush also all the way up. And I would just go in and paint all over. Make sure paint all where it needs to be painted. And then what I'm gonna do is just drop that opacity down to like 35. And it's very slight, but if you see over here, especially when I put that back off and on, you can see there's like a little nice, it just helps bring everything in. Again, this here is bothering me a little bit, but I'm gonna stick to what I said and not do too much. All right, so finish with the even skin tones. I'm gonna go in, get some levels, drop those levels in, bring in some more highlights, and just give this image some more contrast here, like that. And then what should I do? Again, I don't want to go too much into it. I'm gonna go to rich tones here, just use some of that. Bring this down to like 6. Yeah, that looks good. Light contrast. Again, all of these things are presets from Prince Meyson. I just download them and you're ready to go. So a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and then let's go skin eye whitening. Now again, I'll do a lot more. I'll go play with colors, different things like that, which I might show you after. So again, it's eye whitening. When you're doing this, make sure that you are not doing what I'm doing, just like going through and just like whizzing through this, and also give that a little here and there. Boom. Yup. Oh, video's like 24 seconds already. Then you bring that down to around, I'll bring it down to around like 60. Just give those eyes a little pop right there. And now what you can go in and do, as I said, playing with the colors, I could just go to my color balance right here and just play with the shadows, see where you want it. So if you want it to be, you want to make it a little bit more stylized, you could go in and, again, I'm making very, very small adjustments here. Like very, very small adjustments. Just, you know, as you can see that change right there in the jacket. Make it a little bit cooler. Give it that kind of look. And then you could go in and do color lookup. So let's open one of those LUTs. And I'm going to load, again, from Prince Meyson, light skin LUTs. Let's see what one looks like. I should really install these into my, but I don't feel, I never end up doing it. Let's go with 6. Usually I just go with, what is it, 10? Yeah, usually I just go with 10. And what I do is I just bring down the opacity, right? And even before you do that, you could do like, you could do this, take it out in some of the shadows and like bring this all the way up like here. And then bring down the opacity, so like around 45. You know, just gives it a little bit, you know, just a little bit more of that. And then last but not least, sharpen. And I usually go to like 1.8 because I've been using it for a while and it works for me. And now you can see at 100%, this is super sharp. And we don't want it that sharp, so I usually bring it down to like anywhere between 35. So just give it a little bit sharpening. And this would be my finished image. Or what I'll do is just size it for Instagram, 4x5, and then just enter. And just size it, crop it up for Instagram, and there you go. 4x5 image coming from this now to here. And that was pretty quick. We probably edited that in like 15 minutes. I was just going through and deciding what I wanted to do with other things. But yeah, this is what I do if I wanted to just put up a photo quickly. You know, again, I'm being picky because I didn't do like the hair stuff and like really go in and edit it, but more just focusing on the face. Yeah, this is what I do. So one more before and after, before, after. And yeah, I wanted this to be a little bit warm, the jacket a little blue, you know, just that Hollywood till an orange kind of look. But yeah, this is how I would quickly edit a photo to post, or just to send a reference for a client of what it could potentially look like. If you want to see more stuff like this, let me know. But I just wanted to do this for fun, have some fun with it, do it, and yeah. Thanks if you watched all the way through. If not, I still appreciate you. We'll be doing more of these things for fun, and let me know what you want to see. If you want to see more editing content, more photography content, let me know what you want to do. But until then, I'm gonna say peace. So later.